Okay. Hey, how you doing? We're just gonna wait here about 60 seconds for a few people to get on here. Good evening, good evening. We're just gonna wait for a minute, get some folks on this, and then we'll get going. How's your Sunday night going? All right, get some people jumping on. Salute, salute. Thanks for joining. We got Instagram, we got Facebook at the same time. First time ever doing that. That's an experiment. All right, we got some folks jumping on. So we'll keep letting the people come in here, and while they do, we'll give a quick update. So before we get into the meat of this for this live tonight, how you doing? Happy Sunday night. I hope you had a awesome day with your friends and family and your loved ones. So I did a live a couple days ago about the California fires, and this is not what the live is about, but I just want to give you a quick update while people come in here tonight. So we are currently helping people affected in California by the fires. If you don't know, one of the things that I do is I am a founder of a nonprofit. It's a registered 501c3 in the state of New Jersey, and it's called Magic Moment Fund. And it's built specifically for this situation, for when disaster happens to families. That's what this charity, this nonprofit's built for, because we want to step in and help. And I'll give you some background as to where this came from in a little bit. But we have already found and identified several families and are starting to speak with them and getting a sense of what is going on. I spoke with a woman tonight. Actually, she's fortunate enough to have her son. She's in New York City actually right now on a staycation, if you want to call it that. She was in the Malibu area with the Woolsey fires, and she lost everything. Her whole neighborhood got burnt up. She told me, this is crazy. She told me she literally woke up at 2 a.m. She had minutes to get out of her apartment, or it's a shared house, before it all burned down. She got a couple pieces of clothes and then she got out of there. She has nothing left. And that's really the story of a lot of these people that are in California. So anyways, our goal is to help quickly and needed, because people need help right now. So our goal is just, we're not a huge nonprofit right now, guys, but if you want to help, we have a private Facebook group. I'd love to have you join us for that conversation. And we're talking, collaborating about how we can help these families. We're looking at maybe 5 to 7 families that we can probably help right away with funds, with items, with just things they need for the next days, weeks, months. So if you want to join our group, it's called Magic Moment Fund. You can Google it, or you can look on Facebook search, and we'll let you come in, and we'd love to have you if you want to be a hero and be a part of that initiative. Cool? Cool. So what are we talking about tonight? So we're talking about stepping up your game. Don't you want to step up your game? I haven't met one person that wants to stay where they're at, unless you're like totally crushing it and just living life. But so you are meant for more. You are not alone. And I want to talk to you about some things that have been going on in my life and how they may actually mean a lot for you. So tomorrow's Monday. What happens on Monday? Well, we come to work and we get the question, how was your weekend? Right? Happens every week. So, and there's nothing wrong with that question, but typically what we do is we give our surface level conversations to get warmed up, get in the moment, get in the mood, and get going. But when, if ever, have you ever had the chance to really talk about what's really going on? And that's what I want to kind of talk about tonight. Have you ever been able to talk about recently what's really going on in your life that you care about, that you need an ear for, that you need help with? Maybe it's the bills. Maybe it's that you're working a second or third job. Maybe it's you need this week to be the best week, or you may not be able to make payroll for your employees. Like you're in a tight situation. Maybe it's the feeling that you're just not happy with where you're at. Or maybe things are good. Maybe you're killing it right now and you're in the best shape of your life. You're crushing your sales. Business is great. Relationships are good. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you're in that bucket, you're actually even more at risk for going backwards than the people that aren't. And that's because we have this natural tendency with our temperature in our wherever it comes from to get comfortable and to lower the pressure after a while and to fall back down. So if you're if you're killing it right now, you need to keep putting the pedal to the metal and keep burning the engine and raise your temperature level up if you want to keep that success of where it's at. And for the folks that are on the other side of it, you can change your moment right now. You can change your moment tonight. And that's the great thing about tomorrow is you can pick and choose your mood. You can pick and choose your energy. Did you know that energy is a constant? It ebbs and flows, but it is what it is. Have you ever, like for example, have you ever done a sales role play or a cold call role play or a meeting role play at work? And you get feedback, right? And part of the feedback typically could be, your energy was okay. Try it again. And then you like reset yourself. And then you start out with more energy. And now you just raised it. And you can literally change your energy like that and change the outcome of what that was like in the experience for the other person. And so when you go into work tomorrow, I want you to think about energy with yourself, with your people. I call it being fiercely joy. I had this down before. Fierce joy. You can't be too serious. And I'm a person that is typically super serious and focused, and I like to just go in and crush it and go get it. But you got to have the joy and that positive light mood combined with the fierceness of just freaking crushing it with high energy. And when you have high energy, you can feel it. You can see it in person. You can hear it on the phone. And you're smiling and you're having a great time. And what happens when you're having a great time and you share that with someone else? They're like, I don't know where this guy's energy is from, but I kind of like it. And maybe it makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm not having the best Monday morning. My Monday kind of sucked, but that guy's having a good morning. I want more of that. People like to be around positivity. They don't like to be around negativity, right? Right? So think about your energy tomorrow and change it. Change it to a higher level right out of the get-go. Don't let someone have to come and push you to get going. You lead the pack. You start the tone for the day. That's what your business needs with your team. You gotta be the leader to set it up if you want to lead and get that going. So just a little tidbit for tomorrow as you get ready for your big week. I'm sure all you are prepared for that and excited. I love my Sunday nights. Sunday's a great day for family, for church, for football, especially in the fall. If you're a Bears fan and you're on here, then I'm not sure why you're on here because I know you're pretty proud about your Bears, but let's be honest, it's just the Bears, right? I'm just kidding. Kind of not. I'm a Packers fan, so what I wanted to shift to tonight is you guys have known, if you've been watching me, if you're on Insta, if you're on Facebook, and you've seen some posts, you know that there's a book coming out, and I have named it Radical Integrity. And you're probably wondering, what the heck is radical integrity? Well, tonight we're going to talk about what that is and why you should care about it. All righty? Are you ready? All right. So what is radical integrity and why should you care about it? Let's go back to the question I started the live with is, do you want to be better? Do you want to be a better leader? Do you want to be better at sales? Do you want to improve your life? You're coming into tomorrow with ambition, with drive, with motivation for change, whether it's from a positive or negative pole. You want tomorrow to be great, right? Drop an emoji in the chat if you want tomorrow to be awesome. So there's a couple things about what radical integrity is, and I'm going to break them down for you, all right? So first of all, it's following your purpose and your mission, your why. Do you know what your why is? Have you ever thought about that? Do you know what your purpose is in your life? It's a big question. I never thought about it until a few years ago and had to really, really think about it. And you might find that it changes. You might find that you get called to do different things, and you start to shift your life patterns and move in a different direction. But part of living an integrity filled life is you have to know who you are, and you have to know where you're going, so that you can guide yourself, but you can also start to lead and follow a tribe that wants to follow you. So purpose and direction are incredibly important for who you are. It's not just a business thing, it's a you thing. And that's kind of where personal brand comes into this. Personal brand is huge. If you don't know what that is, you start looking into it, work on it. It's really simple. It's just you and who you want to be and what you stand for and what you're showing the world of what you want to add value to. So, but find out who your why is. And a part of knowing who you are and what you want to do, there's a flip coin to that, right? Because that also means that it's not who you are either. And so you can't care about what other people think about you. And that is why. Because it doesn't matter what they think. It matters what you care about and what your purpose is. And you have to have you be the loudest voice in the room for you. If you're afraid of living who you want to be and what your purpose is, that actually, and this is a hard truth, but it actually means that you're being selfish. You're being selfish because you're getting called to do something that you're not going to do, which means you're not going to help people that need you for who you are and who you've been created to be in your genius. You are a special person. Do you realize that you are the only person that will ever exist in the creation of time? Like, Google the odds. This is great. The odds of you being recreated again is like zero. There's no chance. You are so specifically creatively made to be exactly who you are, no one else, that you have critical importance to the world. You have special gifts and things that you're going to do and things you're going to be called to do that no one else cares about, or no one has the burning desire like you do for what you want to do. And I see people on here like Laura that make me think of that. Laura is I'm calling you out, Laura, because I love you and I hope you don't mind this, but Laura loves elderly people. She is so passionate about dementia care and changing the game for how we take care of our elderly folks and dementia care and healthcare. Not everyone cares about that, but to the level of what Laura does. And she's become an expert in that. And she's going to create an amazing legacy with what she's doing in her career. So, if you've been following me for a little while now, you know that I've just recently changed my direction in my life. I was in corporate for 10 years, and I recently left that world. And after a lot of interviews and a lot of self-reflection, I decided to take, in some ways, the road less traveled. And that is, becoming and starting my own business. And my father and my purpose is, my grandfather was a dentist. This is back in the 1960s, and he changed the world for dentistry. He taught dentists how to actually run the practice as a business, and that was like the first time that's ever happened. He wrote 2 books. He traveled the world, and he changed the game. He was disruptive in his space. So following your purpose is number one, what you got to think about when you live a radically integrity life. The second thing is and my grandfather, by the way, he was a huge inspiration for why what I'm doing right now, and a huge inspiration for why I started Magic Moment. If you don't know the story behind that, my grandparents were killed in a tragic plane crash in 1999 by Islam pilots, and it was before 9/11, but it was the same kind of thing, and it was really hard to deal with. And I went through depression, and it was a reason why it took me 8 years to graduate college. I wasn't Van Wilder for a reason. It was because I had a hard time figuring out who I was and how to deal with loss. Between that and my cousin who died in Iraq, he was a Marine in 2004. And when you go through loss and tragedy like that, it changes you. It teaches you things that you don't know are real or there. And one of the things that I learned was that every day matters. Every day isn't promised. You have to enjoy who you have in your life today, because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And so the reason Magic Moment was created is because I can relate to people that go through tragedy and have to deal with that for the rest of their lives, because it's not easy, and we want to make it easier. So anyway, so the second thing with what radical integrity is transparency. Okay, if you want to be a great leader and a great salesperson and a great business owner, then you do not have to show every day that you have it all together. Okay, no one else has it together either. You don't have to be perfect. It's actually good to share at times that you're struggling with something, and even more important, to show people how you're dealing with it. What accountability and actions are you taking to show that you're addressing it and learning and improving? People learn from insight, which is how to think about something, and action, actually how to do it. So if you want to be a great leader, be transparent and share people how you think about something and how you're solving the problem, and then showing them how you solve the problem. And that will go a long way with getting buy-in for your team. Entrepreneurship is hard. It is 100 times harder than working for someone else. And I've been doing it for about 8 weeks, and I'll tell you, it is not easy. But it's okay, right? I'm learning, and I'm showing the world what I'm doing, and I'm teaching and sharing lessons as I go. And part of what excites me about this journey that we're on together is that I'm not someone that has it all figured out. You have the Gary Vees, you have the Grant Cardones, you have all these big people that you look up to in your space that are giving you sage wisdom, and they're 10, 15, 20 years ahead of you. I want to be the guy that goes along the ride with you, and building things and winning and failing and growing together. So if you want to be on that boat and on that train, I'd love to have you on my team, and let's figure out how we grow in life together. Radical integrity number 3 is learning. It's just an unrelenting desire to learn, and having the mercy and the grace on yourself to be okay with where you're at, but also learn and grow at the same time, and having the accountability to keep learning. And that means you need to be around people that are better, smarter, and more tactical and more skilled than you are at whatever you're dealing with. And that's the only way you can grow and learn, is if you surround yourself with people that are better than you. That's the beauty of how we're all different, is no one's going to be the same level as you are at something. You're going to be great at something that someone else isn't, and you need to figure out who those people are you need to learn from, whether that's books, podcasts, masterminds, associations, whatever it is. But are you pushing yourself to learn? Are you pushing yourself to get better and learn from people that can teach you some things, and reaching out and taking the accountability? Or are you the person that's expecting someone just to come pick you up and show you how it's done? Because that's not going to happen. If you're waiting for that to happen, I'm telling you, it's never going to happen. You have to take action. You have to take accountability for where you want to go. Or do you believe the lie that you are who you are? Because that's actually not true. You can learn and change. Your brain is actually very plastic. It can learn new things and grow skills. And it's the difference between what we call a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So the last thing is vulnerability. So if you want to be a great leader and you want to keep improving and you want to grow your business, you want to grow your team, it's owning your mistakes and showing that you're growing, you're learning, and you don't have it all together. One of the things I like to talk about is an iceberg, right? You've all seen the posters, right? The iceberg success posters, where you see the success up top, you see the surface level, but you don't see what's underneath. You don't see the 80-hour work weeks. You don't see the failure. You don't see the times you have to keep motivating yourself. You don't see the times you're crying because you don't know what you're doing and you want to give up, but you don't see all the emotion and the challenge beneath the iceberg, which is actually 80% or more of what that iceberg is. If you look up on there's a environmental government website, and if you look up what an iceberg proportion is that's above the water, it's something, I believe the number is like 13% or less is showing above the water on most icebergs. And that is very similar to how we are in the real world, right? Your neighbors, your normal conversation, your people at work. We like to show each other, even online right now on Facebook, right? I hear this all the time. Everyone just posts how happy they are and all the great stuff. It's so like superficial and not even real half the time, because we don't really show our true colors. If you want to grow a huge tribe and you want to have radical integrity in your life and grow this amazing team, you have to be able to show what's underneath your iceberg. And that's not easy to do. Or is it? You got to be vulnerable. You got to show people what you're dealing with too. If you want people to show them what they're dealing with and being able to actually want to help them and feel safe, you got to play ball. You got to do it too. So doing the right thing, even if it's incredibly unpopular or against the norm, you could say disruptive. And disruptive not in a bad way. I'm not talking about being a jerk or causing harm or anything negative. I'm talking about you need to be disruptive if you have radical integrity, you are disruptive to the norm because you have a true north that you feel is so right, and you stick to your guns. And you might be wrong. Like you could be wrong, but you think you're right. And you act in your own integrity to the situation. Disruptive is one to try new things that may lead to a better competitive advantage for your business or your life. Disruptive is bringing your creative genius to the surface and solving a problem in a new or a unique way. It's not a bad thing. Disruptive is actually good, and we need it, and we need more of it more than ever with all the challenges that we're dealing with every day. So being disruptive in your workplace is actually not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And the last thing is of radical integrity. It's showing the way. It's competence. You can't lead if you can't help people be successful, period. Like you could be really empathetic. You could act in full integrity. You could be honest. You could be vulnerable. But at the end of the day, you got to lead people to success. That's why they're following you. They believe in your vision. They believe that you have what it takes to help them fit into where they want to go in their life. But it takes a level of competency. So do you need to up your game to get people successful? How many people behind you, or not behind you, but are with you, how many of them are successful right now? If it's not that many, then let's up your game. Let's start learning. Let's start being vulnerable. Let's start being transparent. Let's start building buy-in, more buy-in, because we're doing this together. That's the key, guys. Radical integrity. We are doing life together. It's servant leadership. I'm here for you, and that's why I'm in my role. I'm here to help you be the greatest you can be, given my role as a leader. And that's the key, guys. It's you have to tee them up for success. So do you know how to do that? And if you don't, then it's okay. You are where you are, but go get help. Go seek out resources. Be vulnerable. Be transparent. So I wanted to share that tonight because that's what radical integrity looks like. It's not just one thing. It's a concept that's evolving. But it's being vulnerable, it's being transparent, it's knowing your why and sticking to it no matter what, even if it's unpopular. It's being disruptive because we need disruption. If you talk to all the billionaires and all the successful CEOs in the world, we need new ideas. We need people to be entrepreneurs. We need people to be entrepreneurs in companies and create new and better things to be successful. We need this stuff. So if you want to be a better leader and play a bigger game, go for it. Go for it tomorrow. Make the decision tonight that tomorrow is the new day where you're going to go for it and start living the life you want to live and being the leader you want to be and being who you are. Stop trying to be someone else. You don't have to be that person. No one wants that person. They want you. Be you and go freaking crush it with your energy. Have fun. And remember, you're not alone. You are not alone because now we're two. Have a good night.